Bonifin from the Vintage Place. Welcome back. This is a silver Omani traditional dagger from the Middle East. The beautiful filigree silver work, this is about 80% silver. You wouldn't want to melt it today, but it has a value, well over $1,000 or more today. But to buy this one, maybe $2,000 or something like that. The steel in the blade is traditional steel, very cleverly made, and one of the best steels in the world. This exceptional Omani silver dagger was a gift to a senior Australian businessman seeking to open a business in the Middle East. It's beautifully made, it's in the traditional form. There are pieces in museums going back hundreds of years that don't look too different from this one, and you can see the one on Lawrence of Arabia, very similar. This today has a silver value, but more important, an extrinsic value as a collector's item, very rarely seen in Australia. Well, here's another classic treasure at the Vintage Place. Have a look at this. From the famous movie, The Hustler, 1961, Jackie Gleason, Paul Newman, Minnesota Fats, and Fast Eddie. Here, the actual signed cues from the movie. We have an authenticity. We'd love this to end up somewhere in Australia, but like previous ones of this kind, it'll probably end up in America. When you've got something like this and you have to prove the provenance, it becomes very, very, what would you say, pedantic, I guess. We're lucky in Australia that we had some top pool and billiard players like Eddie Charlton and Walter Lindrum. But in America, they had classics too, and they had classic billiard cue makers. Now, part of the debate on this is that the actual cue that was used, and is it the actual maker? And there's still a debate in America, but our provenance so far suggests these are the real things. If we can finally prove that with American support, then the value of this goes sky high. With Anzac Day fast approaching, I thought I'd show you this poignant banknote from France. This is a 5 centime French note, but what's important is the reverse side. Taken from my son, from his body when he died in France in 1916. How sad is that? Here's a very important treasure. Evelyn Owen, a young man who when he was young at school started to design pistols. This is one of them. It no longer works, of course, but you can see the clever design. It actually went on to be part of one of the greatest inventions in Australia's military history, the Owen gun. This is a dummy, possibly his, when he was trying to work out how this weapon would be developed. He came up with an idea that put a separate barrel under like that, and he came up with the idea of putting the magazine on top. This weapon helped save Australia during the Second World War. Used in Papua New Guinea, that's after Evelyn convinced the bureaucracy that it was real, and this was partly due to Lysart's engineering, who pushed it. They made something like 42,000 of them, and these even worked underwater. So in the tropics of Papua New Guinea, in the Kokoda Trail and places like this, this was the best possible weapon to defend Australia. Now, Evelyn was a very, very clever man. He never got the full credit for the 42,000 of these that were made. And I recall that after the war, I was told that most of them were dumped off the heads, although during my brief time in military service, we were still taught to use them. The most incredible weapon, and Evelyn never really got the full credit for us. But here's a young man who helped save Australia in World War II. The Roebuck Rocking Horse, family business, started in the UK, in London, in 1700s, 1780, came to Australia in about 1880 via New Zealand. The family built hundreds and hundreds, in fact thousands of these. This is the last one built in 1972. It's been fully restored here in Turramurra. It's got beautiful real horsehair, real leather, new stirrups, new clips on here, and it rocks perfectly. It was taken back to bare wood. But sadly in 1972, the company basically stopped because plastic came in and plastic horses arrived. This one, beautifully made in wood, one of 3,000 made in 1972 and sold through all the major stores throughout Australia. This one's for sale. If you'd like to buy it, please come and see us. If you'd just like a ride on it, maybe we could do it for $10 a ride. Here's a bit of history. 1969, July 21. This is a broadsheet. This is an original newspaper from mankind reaching the moon for the first time. At this time now, we have people having circled the moon and gone further than ever in Artemis 2 and reached back to Earth safely in the last several days. But this newspaper is a piece of actual history of the real landing on the moon, and hopefully in the near future the younger generation will see something like this again. Signing off for now, Kim Bonifan. See us again next time on our program on treasures. Thank you.